Hey guys, if you like this review, please make sure to hit that subscribe button right here. You can't leave without subscribing.
To me, it's a bit classless. To me, it's classless.
Yeah. He's right, man. You know, when Joe Budden's right, he's right. Also, make sure to check out our most recent episode of The Culture. We do a full show recap on the 2015 BET Hip Hop Awards. If you liked it, if you were disappointed, we talked about all of that, the boycott, the future of BET, everything. So, one of my favorite episodes. Make sure to check that out after this review. Hey guys, I'm BMOC. You're now tuned into BMOC.TV. Today I'm back with a brand new review from Mr. Jump Off Joe Beezy. That's right, Joe Budden. No, it is not Buttons. Y'all be putting the S on it. There's no S, people. There's no S. It's just Joe Budden. And he's back with a brand new album called All Love Lost. He had like No Love Lost on one, and there was like Some Love Lost. This is reportedly the last chapter of the Love Lost series. This is All Love Lost. I'm also mentioning his last album with E1 as of right now. So this is a pretty tough album. You know, Joe Budden's one of my favorite MCs currently doing it right now. You know, Joe Budden has always been one of those, like, they say emo rapper, and some people get that kind of confused. Emo doesn't mean like a soft rapper who's just all in their feelings. It means somebody who's honest about what they're going through and really have those introspective rhymes and songs that kind of like tell you what he's going through. He's super transparent, you know, from his drug addiction and relationships, the battles with the industry, all those things, you know, wins, failures. He really gives it to you all, and I think his fans appreciate that more. The last album, I think it was the No Love Lost one. He had a lot of some cool singles and a lot of features on it, which he addresses in his album. We'll get to that later. He kind of went a different direction, more commercially, and so I don't think people were really feeling that. But I mean, the bars was there. I enjoyed it. But you know, hardcore fans like, we want that emotional, kind of semi-depressed Joe Budden, you know. So if you wanted that, this album gives you that. There should be no complaints from beginning to end. It's just a dope album. So let's break it down track by track. So the first track of the album is actually called All Love Lost, like the project. He wastes no time getting to, you know, the inner feelings of Joe Budden. You know, even addressing some of the backlash he faced from his hardcore fans with the No Love Lost project. You know, mentioned about the features with Wiz and Kurt Cobain and etc. He talks about that. He also mentions the women he made famous. Maybe by mistake, maybe on purpose, you know, how they kind of turned on them after they kind of blew up a little bit. If you don't know what I'm talking about, do your Googles. Then we get to the song Broke, which is actually the first single off of the album. I love it. The girl's voice under this, she gives me like this Skylar Grey, Evanescence. If you don't know Evanescence, do your research. I'm also loving this flow with this. Like, when I live in the I know I'm making fun of it, but I love it. I love it. It's just so catchy. Sometimes when a song catches you, it's not just about repetition, hooks. It could be the flow, it could be delivery, it could be something he ends off with. So I love when, you know, really musicians play off of that. So after Broke, we get to a song called Playing Our Part, and that's kind of talking about relationships as well, and kind of him pondering, you know, why the women who are attached to him want to be attached to him. You know, how come even at all the turmoil and the hurt, they go away, but they still want to come back and check up on him, see how he's doing. You know, does he even deserve their love? Does he even deserve them reaching back out? And does he deserve them? You know what I'm saying? Are some of them for him, or some of them for their life? So, you know, with Joe Budden's album, he touches on so many different topics each song. Sometimes it's hard to get like a main theme of it. So it's really art. So it's like you have to kind of interpret what he's saying a lot of times, interpret what it is. It could have 5 or 6 different meanings. It could have one. So I feel like one person's, you know, thoughts on the song may be different. Then we get to the song called Man Down, which half of it talks about the battles and things that he's faced. And the adversity he's facing, the hurdles, but also paying homage to people who have passed away. His terms, you know, Man Down, Robin Williams, Stack Bundles, Bobby Christina, Sean Price, Chris Lighty, just a few other names he's mentioned of people either he's met or kind of known that's passed away in the media recently. So I think it's really a classy record. Again, just kind of attaching it to his circumstances and almost being at a place where people kind of want to see him fail and give up. Then we get to Immortal, which which is really a powerful motivational record, just telling people that you could be immortal just by your works and the mark that you leave and your legacy. People that try to knock you down, and you're gonna go through things. He talks about his drug addiction and how he overcame that. And people will probably count him out, you know what I'm saying? So you could be immortal, not necessarily in the physical sense. You're gonna live forever, you know what I'm saying? But you're going to live forever, not necessarily in the physical form, but in your works and your career, your legacy, and the things that you do for people, your reputation. So you can overcome those things, which is a great motivational concept. Then we get to Love, I'm Good, like love, I'm good. The beat is ill. Shout out to A-Rap Music, the piano sections of this. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Fire. And basically this song is like a metaphor for like a relationship, but with hip hop. You know, it's kind of like he's describing it as a girl. He's done a couple of records like this before. You know, Common had I Used to Love Her and Voice, and a lot of other people have done records like this. So, but every time Joe does it, it feels fresh. It feels relevant. And I think a lot of us share the same sentiments. Then we have the track Make It Through the Night featuring Marsha Ambrosius from Flowetry. All you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? You know, all you gotta do is say yes, boss. And Jadakiss, you know, he's the only rap feature on the whole project. Jada's verse never fails. 16 bars, always on deck. Then we get to one of the most talked about tracks of this album. It's a song called Slaughtermouse, which I'm sure you may have heard if you kind of knew about this album. He kind of put it out there as like a single, but it's incredible. The intro, the beat intro is just so like epic, and I never really use that word. If you check out my vlogs, I never really use the word epic, but I can't really describe it. But just like the horns and how the breakdowns, like, oh my gosh, what's this dude about to say on the track? It's like Email to Eminem with Slaughterhouse copied on it, so to speak. And just, you know, Joe Budden talking to Eminem, kind of like, yo man, listen, we're kind of like the same, you know, maybe in their work relationship. I don't know if they had enough time to like talk personally. I think he said that they've worked together. Slaughterhouse is signed to Eminem, and maybe they haven't had a lot of those deep discussions, but he's kind of telling Eminem, like, I don't know if you realize this, but me and you are a lot alike. You know, we both face some of the same adversities. You know, we've both had baby mother issues. We both have done with, like, you know, dealing with the drug addiction, stuff like that, and overcoming it, and dealing with the music. So I think it was a really great concept. Not stan-ish, because he's not a stan of him, but just a true, honest reflection of what's going on. Then we get to the song called Where Do We Go? Featuring Eric Bellinger. Eric Bellinger, I hope I'm saying his name right. My bad Eric, I'm saying his name wrong. But he's been popping up everywhere with some of these hooks, man. Hook is stupid. Hook is super soulful. It gives just a different feel, vibe. It kind of balances out the album with the soulful vibe. So I'm loving that. And this is one of those records again where Joey is talking about just different concepts, different themes, different topics. And one part of it is talking about a relationship that failed and acknowledging the girl's, you know, the woman's strengths and the things that she did right, and maybe the reason why it kind of went south, maybe more on Joe's part. And then another part of it is Joey talking about a family member who's passed away and dealing with that, and kind of like saying, you know, where do we go from there? How do we move on? How do we grow? How do we kind of accept this death and move on from it? So the track after that is called Unnecessary Pain featuring Yummy Bingham. Yummy! I know it's kind of random, I don't know. But Young Bingham and Felicia Temple. So in this song, you know, I'm pulling from two different topics here. You know, in one verse, he's talking about Kaylin, who you may know from Love and Hip Hop New York. They had a relationship together. And also couples therapy. They do couples therapy as well together. And he's talking about just like the things that happened in that relationship, and kind of taking ownership in a lot of her hurt, her unnecessary pain, and her kind of being young and being impressionable, and maybe kind of let her down a weird path of confusion and miscommunication, and kind of just realizing that and reflecting and kind of giving that to her. And then also there's a verse at the very last verse where he's talking about just his unnecessary pain and giving himself to the industry and the art and to the fans, and that maybe his rap days could be numbered. You know what I'm saying? He mentioned on an interview that, you know, it could be kind of towards the end of him doing other things, other projects. And maybe still rapping and still doing that, but maybe as a full-time artist, you know, that maybe could be, you know, maybe cannot be the same way it was, just on interest and on the love for it. He mentioned if as soon as he loses the love, even for a little bit, or the desire for it, he's gonna hang it up. The ability is obviously there, but maybe just the love, maybe channeled differently. So you never know, but it's definitely a great record. I'm loving the production from it, and I'm sure people can relate to it. Then the last track on the standard version is called Love For You, which is like a gumbo, shout out to J-Rock, a gumbo of emotions, you know, just talking about rappers having to sing to sell records, and then a family member that passed, and he didn't feel like maybe he got enough time to spend with them and communicate that properly. He also talks about the women that he's dealt with, and people not being necessarily grateful or appreciative of the love and help that he's given them just based off of success. So again, definitely a great ending to the album. It kind of started with, again, just him being introspective and transparent, and that flowed throughout the entire album. So this was like a great conclusion and a wrap up of that. So overall, I'm really digging this album, man. You know, like I said before, Joe Budden is one of my favorite MCs doing it right now. I definitely think he kept it really true. If you're a hardcore Joe Budden fan, you're gonna really love just the emotional, the honesty, and just again the insight of what's going on in his life, which I think all artists have to conquer. Not necessarily as you have to do it as much as Joe Budden, but just kind of knowing what you're going through and what's going on in your mind. I think people really connect with that. When aren't just songs you're just kind of just making just to make and following a certain trend, when you're like speaking from the heart, it really connects with people in a different way, and that's why you get a longevity and a long career like Joe Budden has had and will have. So I definitely recommend you checking this out ASAP. It's an indie record, so definitely support that by purchasing it, or obviously streaming it if you're paying for a subscription. So you know, and let me know your thoughts. Put it in the comments and share with me. What are you thinking about this? Are you loving it? Are you hating it? How do you feel about this compared to the last project? Please put it in the comments and share your opinions. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I want to shout out the commenters from last week on the Game Documentary 2 album. Shout out to Rick Jokic, Guru Singh. I hope I'm saying your name right. Shout out to you. Global Effin' Empire, Nina Garza, Drayson McDonald, Style 69. Always on those comments. I see you out here in the YouTube streets. Just call me K-O-N. I think it's K-O-N, 2 N's on it, which is cool. Shout out to Dante Williams, Edwin, Stacey Flores, Justice Will Rise, Whoa Nelly Jake, Cal Taylor, Molly Mongway, shout out to you. Hope I'm saying your name right. Mr. Jamal Gray, ADOTF, Romel 1981, Pedro Enrique, Don Gizzle, Interracial Movement Rights, Nunu Knees, Brian Chess, Cause of DM, shout out to you, Pat Game Hustle, Crunk Girl 711, and Mitzi Chris, my dude, DK 187. So again, Chandler Ringon. So again, hope I'm saying you guys ain't right. YouTube username's got a really unique. So again, shout out to you guys for supporting. I appreciate it. If you guys want to shout out, just comment on a video and we'll get that done. Also, please check out our most recent episode of The Culture, where we do a full show recap on the 2015 BT Hip Hop Awards. You know, like we talk about that, the boycott, the future of BT, if it can be saved. So it's funny, hilarious, they're educational. Make sure you check that out, show me some love. To watch everything we have going on with the channel, please make sure to check out youtube.com/BMOCTV. Please subscribe, or BMOC.TV. I'm BMOC. Peace.